The vice presidential possibility for J.D. Vance appears to be on life support, with rumors flying that he may be removed from the ticket, with gaffe after gaffe after gaffe. Where to even start? There have been some wild email leaks from J.D. Vance exchanging emails with a former Yale Law School classmate who is transgender. And there are a bunch of interesting things here to talk about. But importantly, the picture I come away with is that J.D. Vance is a much more reasonable individual than his recent statements make him seem. That doesn't make him a better person for being willing to do this public 180 and say, I love Trump, Trump's great, everything Trump's doing is great. It actually makes him just as despicable. But my instinct that Vance probably still believes the things he used to say and probably still hates Trump are almost certainly true. Quotes from J.D. Vance's emails, which you can review in the New York Times. Quote, I hate the police. I can't imagine what a black guy goes through. That doesn't sound like MAGA Trumpism. That doesn't sound like the 2024 edition of J.D. Vance. Quote, I'm obviously outraged at Trump's rhetoric. There have always been demagogues willing to exploit the people who believe crazy S. Next week, I'll be able to say the full word once we're off radio and TV. That is a statement that is very much the old J.D. Vance and very much unlike the new J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance in these emails, quote, the more white people feel like voting for Trump, the more black people will suffer. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound like MAGA Trumpism at all. Previously, in these uncovered emails about Donald Trump, quote, he's just a bad man, a morally reprehensible human being. J.D. Vance hates Trump. He used to be very public about it. He now pretends not to because he is going to be a heartbeat away from a 78-year-old obese guy from the presidency. But it's pretty damn clear that J.D. Vance hates Trump. He also is stepping in it with comments that those who are not parents should have less of a voice than parents. This isn't good. And this is angering people on the left, but it's also angering people on the right who believe this is the exact wrong direction that they should be going in.
When you go to the polls in this country as a parent, you should have more power. You should have more of an ability to speak your voice in our democratic republic than people who don't have kids. Let's face the consequences and the reality. If you don't have as much of an investment in the future of this country, maybe you shouldn't get nearly the same voice. Now, people will say, and I'm sure the Atlantic and the Washington Post and all the usual suspects will criticize me about this in the coming days.
Yes.
Well, doesn't this mean that non-parents don't have as much of a voice as parents? Doesn't this mean that parents get a bigger say in how our democracy functions? Yes, absolutely.
Yikes. I mean, listen, I don't know that you need a deep political analysis to understand why saying, by definition, at the top level, just definitionally, non-parents should have less of a say and parents should have more of a say. And now, of course, we have replacement speculation swirling. Independent reports Republicans are beginning to have second thoughts about J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is faltering in the Midwest, a big problem for the GOP. Donald Trump may replace J.D. Vance within 10 days, according to Chuck Schumer. This is really not going well, really not going well. Here is J.D. Vance saying that the Harris campaign is against children, which is very much not the case.
This is about criticizing the Democratic Party for becoming anti-family and anti-child. We have to ask ourselves, Megyn, why do we have masking of toddlers years after the pandemic ended? Why do we have the Harris campaign coming out this very morning, Megyn, and saying that we should not have the child tax credit, which lowers tax
That's a lie.
rates for parents of young children? It's because they have become anti-family and anti-kid. And I'm proud to stand up for parents. And I hope that parents out there recognize that I'm a guy who wants to fight for you. I want to fight for your interests. I want to fight for your stake in the country. And that is what this is fundamentally about. The Democrats in the past 5-10 years, Megyn, they have become anti-family. It's built into their policy. It's built into the way they talk about parents and children. And it's time that we called that out. I don't think we should back down from it, Megyn. I think
no, maybe not back down, but maybe tell the truth. He says that the Kamala Harris wants to cut the child tax credit. Recall that the Biden-Harris administration grew the child tax credit to $3,000 per child and $3,600 for kids under 6, made it automatic with advanced monthly payments to qualified families. And it was the Biden-Harris administration that wanted Congress to make the credit permanent. J.D. Vance is lying. J.D. Vance is panicking. And if you want just one last little anecdote about how poorly things are going for J.D. Vance, here is J.D. Vance speaking before Trump at Trump's deranged St. Cloud, Minnesota rally, which we will get to later, and Fox News just cutting away.
All righty. Well, we've been listening to J.D. Vance at the Trump rally in Minnesota. And Tom.
all right.
Yeah, we're going to get away from that, aren't we? Not going to stick with this guy. This is a downward spiral. And if J.D. Vance makes it to November, it won't be because Trump's not disgusted with what's going on and the coverage and the things he's saying. It will be because Trump's ego won't allow him to admit that he made a mistake. Now, Chuck Schumer is saying this guy's got 10 to 12 days left before he's replaced. There are rumors about Trump's realizing that, especially now that he's running against Kamala Harris and not Joe Biden, Nikki Haley would have been the smart decision. Now, Nikki Haley may have been a smart decision regardless, because so many of Nikki Haley voters said, I don't know that I'm just going to switch to Trump if it's not Nikki Haley. In fact, many of them said I won't. Some of them said I'll vote Biden. Some of them said I'll stay home. Vance seems to bring Trump nothing electorally, just absolutely nothing. On the other hand, Nikki Haley seems like she would provide Trump with a useful chunk of the electorate. So rumors are flying. I have no idea whether it's plausible Trump is going to replace J.D. Vance, but it is going absolutely terribly no matter how you measure it. And by the way, this is sort of, it's not super relevant, but it goes to the idea that Vance probably hates Trump. The person who really seems to hate Trump is J.D. Vance's wife, Usha Vance. I tweeted about this, and you can find video of them doing a diner stop in St. Cloud, Minnesota. She genuinely seems miserable, and we know that she previously has referred to Trump as appalling and genuinely seems to find him disgusting. She is struggling. If you watch the video from this diner stop, and I wish I had it ready, but this just came to mind. It looks like a hostage video. She looks like she's there under duress, seems to want nothing to do with these photo ops. And if I had to guess, both of the Vances don't like Trump. J.D. Vance has decided this is all worth it to be a heartbeat away from the presidency. Usha Vance seems less clear on that. So we'll see how it all continues. And speaking of St. Cloud, Minnesota, after the break, just wait till you see how wrong this rally went. Data brokers are constantly gathering vast amounts of information about your online activities, address, phone number, email, financial details, even political affiliations. Anyone, including your ex or your boss, can easily find your personal information on public data search sites. They sell this data to other companies, the FBI and NSA, even buy this data in bulk to monitor Americans without a warrant. These data set lists are also where scammers and spammers get your information to send, call, text, and email you. But you can stop them. Our sponsor, Incogni, sends data removal requests to data brokers who are legally required to comply. If any information stays online, Incogni will follow up and make sure that it's removed. And they keep you updated every step of the way, so you will know when your data has been removed. Saves you hundreds of hours of work. Almost no one could do this on their own if you have any other responsibilities in your life. I use Incogni myself, and what they're able to accomplish and quickly is impressive. Go to incogni.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for 60% off. The link is below.